Let's first this morning talk to Marcus Saxton, who's the chairman of the Independent British Vape Trade Association. Marcus, welcome to the show. I'm wondering how you feel about this. I mean, is it bad news for trade and for your adult customers?
Good morning, Anna. No, not particularly. We've been preparing for this for around about a year. Many of our members will have been doing as well, and just ensuring that we arrive at Sunday with the minimal, if no stock, that they have to ultimately seal, not for resale, and send back to a responsible recycler. So ultimately it'll cost them money. So it's in their incentive to ensure they're left with nothing.
So they've been trying to shift that stock. And are you confident that people will just move to the rechargeable versions, which of course are legal?
Yeah, the only challenge is, as you know, consumers are habitual, and there's lots of categories that you can take something that's more environmentally friendly, but unfortunately consumers choose not to. What we've got to hope is that, as per your introduction, this doesn't revert people back to smoking, particularly younger adults on social smoking. Go out, take a cigarette off a friend. Those were the people that would have much more easily used a single-use vape. They just need to get into store, purchase one of the reusable refillables, very straightforward, very easy to use, and just ensure that they don't revert back to smoking.
Yeah, this is the worry. I mean, people say that disposables are cheaper. Is that right, or is it just more of an outlay for the rechargeables initially, but once you start refilling them, that kind of levels out?
Yeah, you're right. So on both fronts, actually, they're not particularly more expensive, even in the first instance.
Okay.
So many of the manufacturers have been, over the last 6 months, creating their new product designed to be refillable and reusable, but doesn't cost the consumer anymore. Some people are calling that's the trade circumventing the regulation. It's not. It's ensuring that these consumers have got a product that doesn't cost them more, which there are lots of other alternatives that will last them even longer, that are a little bit more expensive, but consumers don't need to worry about that.
Of course, people were thinking about the environment, but as I mentioned, they were also talking about young people vaping, and we know this is a problem. And I have to put this to you because some people are saying, well, the industry is partly to blame because it feels like they're marketing vapes at young people, bright colours, tasty flavours, all the packaging and stuff. Is it your fault?
No, so there is further regulations that the government are considering around packaging and licensing of stores. It's illegal to sell to under 18s today. Many reputable retailers have really strict age verification protocols. It's the unscrupulous retailers that are prepared to sell these to youths that are the ones that give the industry the bad name, and there's far too many of them. Hopefully this is the first step that will help that. But ultimately, it's about, as you introduced, there's fines of £200, potentially imprisonment for 2 years to sell these things. And equally, that should be applicable, isn't today, but for selling to underage.
Yeah, and I remember when I put that to you before, you said quite rightly, a lot of adults actually do want different flavours. They're on a mission to quit smoking. It can be helpful. And I'm wondering whether it's the black market per se actually giving your association, your industry, a bad name, because it's not just selling to underage people, is it? It's vapes that just exceed the limits on things like nicotine and other chemicals.
You've got it. And unfortunately, there are still many retailers that are prepared to sell those. And if they're prepared to sell a legal product, they're definitely not in the process of ensuring it gets into adult users. So as you say, I was in store yesterday. If you just stood in a vape store, you'll see a myriad of adult smokers that prefer a colourful device that works effectively and a fruit flavour because it's furthest away from the tobacco that they were addicted to. And they don't want something that's so close that next time they smell a cigarette, they might revert back to.
The law is pretty clear now, isn't it? So I suppose it's all about, and I spoke to Trading Standards earlier, and they're working really hard, actually. It's about the system working, isn't it? So these things are filtered out of society, so we only have vapes for the right reasons and the right people.
You've got it. And Trading Standards do a really sterling job, albeit through very limited resources. They're dealing with meat, they're dealing with Botox, all sorts of categories. Yeah. And vapes was just another thing to add on top. But they're certainly doing as best as they can, and hopefully they'll have more resources given by the government soon.
On that note, we will watch it. Listen, Marcus, thank you so much for being here. Marcus Saxton, then the chairman of the Independent British Vape Trade Association.